Okay, so a lot of people also say, if we add to that, that Jesus, okay, he existed. Jesus was a great speaker. He was a great rabbi, a great storyteller, but he wasn't deified as God until centuries later by the Roman Catholic Church. A lot of people say that in the UK. It was the Roman Catholic Church that invented the God man rather than just the man. Yeah. So biblically, is that a sound argument, or are there some holes in that?
Well, you just threw me a softball, and so thank you for that. It's not a solid argument. There are a lot of holes in it. All right. This is basically Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I have a question here that I'm going to ask a person who raises that. And my question is, why would you believe that what you just told me is an accurate account of things?
Okay.
Now, I would presume that someone who makes this claim that Jesus was a man of history and a great this, that, and the other thing, which is common because people like Jesus, right? But he wasn't this God-man. He wasn't this savior of the world, et cetera, okay? That was invented later. And so that's a very strong claim. Okay, fair enough. I'm not threatened by it. Why would you think that's the way? Now, this is a very important question that every thoughtful person has to ask if they're confronting the challenge or they're offering the challenge. Why would anybody believe that? Okay, this idea that Jesus was kind of an ordinary man and he was somehow deified 300 years later, maybe by the Roman Catholic Church or somebody. All right, there was no Roman Catholic Church 300 years later, by the way. The Roman Catholic Church as we know it is probably 6th, 7th century. All right, that was the ascendancy of Rome into this strong monolithic representation of Christianity. So before there wasn't the church. So let's just look at the history. That's the question. Why is it? So here's another question that goes to this issue. Why is it that people believe, these people raising the objection, that Jesus was a good man, a good prophet, a good rabbi? Well, because just look what he said and what he did. Well, wait, where are you looking at what he said and what he did? You're not looking at Pliny or Tacitus or Josephus or some of these others that make references to Jesus and to Christianity that kind of confirm and validate aspects of the Gospels. You are looking at the primary source documents themselves, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And because that's the place where you get any detail about Jesus.
Yeah.
So if a person is going to have an opinion about Jesus that's robust in any sense, they have to gain that opinion from some record of Jesus' life. And there are only 4 detailed records of Jesus' life, and I just mentioned them. That's the canonical Gospels, okay? But the problem with drawing a good conclusion about Jesus the man and the prophet and the rabbi and the great teacher from those canonical Gospels is that those very Gospels say a whole bunch more than that. Because this isn't what Jesus believed about himself, not according to the testimony. Okay? The language that he used to describe himself got him killed.
Yeah.
It was not his political action or his advocacy for the poor or any of that. We have a record of the trial. He made a claim about himself that he was the Son of God. Yeah. That's blasphemy. And by the way, this claim was made from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize it, is the leadership wasn't trying to kill Jesus at the end of his life. They started to try to kill at the very beginning of his life. All right? And at that time, it wasn't just the leadership writ large over Israel. It was a local leadership of a community worship service, in the synagogue. Jesus was preaching, and that made him so mad they almost drove him off a cliff, to stone him. That was right in the beginning. It's Matthew 4 or something like that. So that was why. Why were they trying to kill this guy? A couple of reasons, but what they got him on was his claim to be God. Now, some people are thinking, wait, no, he claimed to be the Son of God. Well, keep in mind, we're 2,000 years removed from the circumstances, right? And so people claim to be sons of God all over. Now, it never raises an eyebrow, all right? But back then, in a Jewish community with Torah-observant Jews, which Jesus was, by the way, you don't make a claim like that frivolously. That is blasphemous, because to claim to be the Son of God is to claim to have a divine nature. Okay, you are a son of your father. You share the same nature as your father, Paul. So do I.
Yeah.
We both have human natures. God is unique. He has a divine nature. He has a son. The Son has the same divine nature. This is blasphemous. And they understood this. Why are you wanting to stone me, Jesus said. This is the record, right? And he said, what good work? He said, not for a good work, but you, being a man, make yourself out to be God. Okay, so this record that allows us to draw great opinions about Jesus as the man is thick with references to his divine nature. And think of the claims that he made. Now, we wanted to say this is a great teacher, prophet, and all this. Okay, this is the man who said, not my teaching, I am the bread of life. He who eats from this bread will never die. I am the living water. You drink from this, not my teaching, me. You drink from this water, you will never thirst. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies. And after he said that, he walked out and he raised a man from the dead who had been in the grave for 3 days and was rotting and stinking. That's Lazarus. Okay, so the point I'm making is our viewers can draw whatever conclusion that they want about Jesus of Nazareth from the record. And they can walk away from him if they want, or they can embrace him. But if we want to be intellectually honest, we have to embrace the man as he was and presented himself. We can't just cherry pick, because if this man was not who he claimed to be, then he's not a good man. He's a liar, or worse.
Yeah.
And one of your wonderful countrymen, C.S. Lewis,
yes,
made this point in a very lucid way, and his point was that you can't have it in between. That option is not left open to us, and Jesus did not intend to leave it open to us. Okay, the ancient dictum in Latin is aut deus aut homo malus. In other words, either God or a bad man. Nothing in between.
Nothing in between. Excellent. Yeah, sums it up. Brilliant.